I recently responded to a comment someone had made on one of my posts. The post was about never asking your spouse, the betraying spouse, for details about a past affair. The person said that basically she was telling me I was incorrect in what I was saying, and I think she was even actually assuming that I was defending the betrayal. I was not. So I want to be clear. In my post, I said, look, don't ever ask for details. Oh my gosh, it's the last thing you want to do. Now, if your spouse has betrayed you, you do have a right to ask for details. But I'm going to tell you, those details will not help you for the most part. Some may not. But I also want to say, if you have in front of you a contrite spouse, someone who you're right now judging, going, he or she seems pretty upset about this, pretty remorseful, then I would suggest to you, don't relive the past. So I just was doing this video to clarify. So I've had people I've worked with in the past who have said, tell me what you guys did, where you had sex, how often, what was it like, what kind of things did he or she make you do in bed? That is absolutely unproductive. And when I have people who have had affairs in my office, I tell them, don't tell your spouse. Tell them very minimal. If they persist and they push, tell them we did things that we don't want to be proud of. Because what that is ultimately going to do is hurt the spouse that was already betrayed. He or she may want to find information, maybe an information seeker and think, that will heal me. No, it won't. So if they're asking you for details about sexual things, just tell them we did bad sexual things. We should not have done it. I'm not going to share the details of that. Please forgive me. Now, that's a difference between what I think this person who commented on my post was suggesting, that I was saying, don't ask the betraying spouse for total transparency. That is not what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, if you have betrayed your spouse, you owe them transparency. Yes, I did have an affair. Yes, it was last Christmas when I lied to you and I told you that I was at such and such. Yes, I did do this or that. So what I'm saying is answer honestly to every single question your spouse asks of you, but don't offer details about sinful things that aren't going to do any good. But be honest about telling your spouse, I don't want to tell you that because it won't do you any good. Now, because I am the one who betrayed my spouse 3+ decades ago, I also did that post to say, and here's maybe where I think the confusion came in. Everyone assumes that the betrayed spouse was hurt. Of course they were hurt. They were betrayed. Their spouse had an affair on them. My husband was hurt. Got it. But everybody gets that part. The deeper part of my post was to say, I just need to let you know the betraying spouse, he or she has a lot of emotions to deal with as well. I had to figure out, how the heck could I have done that? I'm a Christian. How did I fall for that? Why did I decide to do that? We have lack of self-respect. We have the judgment we know that others thought about us. We have to face God himself. We have to face the stupid things that we said, like, why, I told everybody I'd never get back with him, and so if I get back with him now, I'll look like a moron. There's so many things that the betraying spouse has to deal with as well. So I'm sorry if this is not politically correct, but I am saying that both spouses have healing to do. And I have been attacked by a couple people saying, you betrayed your spouse, you don't have a voice. And to them I say, oh yes, I do, because a marriage takes two. And mine was different than yours or someone else's. But I'll be darned if I'll be seen as the only person in the marriage who did anything bad. So I'm getting a little bit defensive, but I'm also getting a little bit further into one last thing I want to say. I will often say, just because your spouse had the affair, don't think he or she is the bad guy and you are the good guy. I take full responsibility. Nothing my husband did caused me to have an affair. It is not his fault, it's all my fault. But he wasn't a perfect spouse, nor was I, nor are you, and nor is your cheating spouse. So that's really the gist of what I want to say. If we look into it as if one person's bad and the other one's good, then we're really going to have a hard time healing our marriage. The betrayer made a huge mistake. Even if he or she made 90% of the mistakes, own up to your 10. Gives the other person a little bit something to see that you are honestly trying to become a better spouse as well on this healing journey. So, like my video or not, that's the truth. That's the truth that comes from a betraying spouse and one who has been in a healed marriage for 3 decades since. And my marriage is very, very good. Yours can be too. So can your friends and family. I guess since I'm there, one last thing. If you have a family member that is in the middle of an affair right now, do not tell them to ditch the dirt bag and go find someone better. They have a history with that spouse. They have dreams, plans, and in most cases a child. You say to them, we're going to wait for him or her to get through this affair. We're going to try and push him or her out of the affair. But when you got married, you promised for better or for worse, and this is definitely the worst. Encourage your friend to work through it. Find them a good counselor or a relationship coach. I'm available. I've helped a lot of couples, and that's nothing that I give myself credit for, but only by the grace of God. He has taken my sins and converted them into this vocation that I have today. So that's it. Just want to say God bless you. I appreciate all of you, and I want nothing but the best for you. So in your life, in your marriage, remember always to live every day sunny side up.